What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, man. I'll show y'all. It's a pretty day out here, man. I'm at the world famous McGregor Park, and nice and cool, little breeze. I'm sitting under this little canopy, watching the birds. Y'all see the little birds just chilling right there. But I wanted to holler at y'all, man, about a couple things, but in particular, just to give some info. Y'all's president, what he got going on, Mr. Trump. He's getting ready to kick off his rallies for his second run at the presidency of the United States, and there's some controversy surrounding that, simply because he has magically chosen the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, to be the first city that he will initiate his run. And he has chosen June 19th to be the day that he will begin his run in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What is my point? The point is, for anybody who's aware of history, black history in particular, we understand the significance of the day of June the 19th, and we also understand the significance of the town of Tulsa, Oklahoma. For those of you who don't know, if you were just not a person who's into history like that, or a person who just is oblivious, I'll give you a quick rundown, nothing extensive, but when black people were freed from slavery, there was a 2 to 2.5 year period where slaves in the South did not know. The word had not reached the slaves in the South that they were actually free and no longer had to be um, in slavery. This day, when they finally found out, it happened on June 19th, 1865. It was discovered, and the word got to the slaves that, hey man, y'all ain't got to do this no more. Okay, so since that time, there's been a celebration of that day, and that celebration here now is known as Juneteenth. Now, people have different feelings about it, and when I say people, I mean different black people have different feelings about it, because some feel like it's a day to be celebrated and recognized, and there are other black people who are like, why should we celebrate finding out 2 years late that we were free from slavery? So whatever your take is on that angle, I'm not gonna get into that. The second thing is the location, which is Tulsa, Oklahoma. And if you don't know, just go look up Black Wall Street. I'm sure many of you have heard of Black Wall Street, even if you don't know what it is or what it was about. And even if you kind of think you know, still go back and do some research on it, and you'll discover that in 1921, in the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was an act of domestic terrorism carried out by a bunch of racist white men who stormed into an all-black community which had been built up for black people by black people around 50 years after being freed from slavery. And these people had built up their community and had businesses and and were establishing an economy and independence. And based on an alleged incident, white men stormed into the town, killed a bunch of black people, and burnt the area down. This was Black Wall Street. Go read about it. So now fast forward to 2020, and this is the city that Donald Trump decides to kick off his campaign run on the day of Juneteenth. Now y'all will say, "Oh man, what did that mean? That's not." I know how y'all think. Trust me, I do. That has nothing to do with it. He didn't did it. Nah. It can be rationalized any way that you want to rationalize. You have the right to do that. But I'm telling you that even a guy like Trump, who is dumb as a bag of rocks, even he has somebody around him that says, "Hey man, you know, this day in this town has special significance in the eyes of a lot of black people." So when asked about it, he said, in typical Trump fashion, "Well, let's look at it as a celebration." What are you celebrating? You celebrating the massacre, or are you celebrating black people finding out they were free from bondage 2 years later, 2 years after actually being free? What are you celebrating? So again, it speaks to the insensitive nature of this individual and those like him. Strangely enough, the second stop on his run is Jacksonville, where another lesser known incident took place. An incident that was labeled as Axe Handle Saturday. And Axe Handle Saturday, that was back when some white guys stormed into a restaurant where some black people were eating at. It's a whites only restaurant. And they proceeded to beat these black people with axe handles. Thus the name Axe Handle Saturday. That's his second stop. So again, you may look at that as not being anything major, but if you do look at it like that, I gotta question your sensitivity, because if your mother was murdered on a certain date at a certain spot, and I decided to throw a rally or party or get together on that day in that same spot, and I knew and I was aware of what happened, you would feel some kind of way if I knew. And you're alive if you say you wouldn't. You would feel some kind of way that this area where this tragic thing happened is now being host to people laughing and rallying and having a good time. This is the nature of the human being that we're dealing with. So in closing, I have to make it very clear that I'm only saying this to inform, to raise eyebrows. I'm not saying it from a place of being surprised. Because again, you can never be surprised when the devil do what the devil do. Always remember that. And to speak to the people who may be upset, who may be angry about it, I'm going so far to say don't even be angry about it. Don't be mad. Because again, if you sleep next to a lion and the lion bites the hell out of you, and you manage to wake up right when the lion bit you, and then you decide you want to be mad at the lion, you can't get mad at the lion for doing what's in his nature to do. It was some meat laying next to him, accessible, and he bit into it. So when the devil do what the devil do, don't be mad. Just be proactive in moving forward, and let's work to rebuild Black Wall Street. Let's work to make Juneteenth a day of reflection and a day of um, honoring those who went through the horrible things they went through in order for us to not have to go through them in that form. So keep that in mind, family, and make sure you put your comments down below, uh, and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna hit y'all with another one in a minute. Peace.